Yeah, look at that low poly scarab leg. Fucking great. Yeah, we all got our shiny LED bits. Except for George. He's only got those 2 bits on his knees, which aren't glowing, they're just white textured.
48 hours? That's imminent? Uh-oh. Who's your money on this time?
Her.
You always pick her.
She's always had him dialed in.
That thing's crushing us and we're waiting for backup.
Yes, let's all take off our helmets in this war zone.
Are either out system or went down with the ships that carry her. You're preaching to the converted.
How converted?
I know that little cat.
I think it'd almost be more charming if everyone left their helmets on.
Fine, I'll hear it.
Be more honest.
Accident a couple of years back. Colony ship en route to Cygnus.
You're not supposed to like these characters. They have the fucking life expectancy of a bag of snack cakes.
The drive was mounted improperly.
Actually, that's not correct. A bag of snack cakes would last longer.
This is relevant. How?
Certain Covenant supercarrier could, with some assistance, suffer the same unfortunate accident.
If we're going to take a slip space drive up to the alien spaceship to kill them, why wouldn't we just take an actual bomb?
Go ahead. Explain.
May I?
The idea that every single nuke on Reach was carried aboard a fucking frigate that got shot down in the last 24 hours is such absolute bullshit, considering there are like 30 orbital platforms on the other side of the planet fighting the actual Covenant fleet while this is happening.
Solvable? Getting us up there. That's
like,
getting our hands on a slip.
Fuck off.
Thank you for sharing.
Also, even if those ships went down, their nuclear payloads should still be intact, considering those ships were, like, broken into pieces, which, again, does not make very much sense. Why would shooting the front of the ship cause the back end of it to fucking fall apart if it's not detonating the entire structure? Like, blowing up part of a ship shouldn't cause the entire ship to explode unless there's some kind of fucking cascade. Oh, do you see fucking Emil's chest piece? The fucking grenades are staying in place, but the rest of his armor's moving. What the fuck? That's great. Ah, this game, fucking incredible. Did no one look at that? Or is that a recent bug? I can believe that's been in the game since launch. There's a lot of other visual bugs involving the Spartan's armor, especially in multiplayer. If you're playing as a female Spartan, almost every single armor attachment is actually hovering like a couple inches above your body, and it looks terrible. Because they were all modeled for the male body type. It's like you can tell how much fucking work went into some of the fucking features in this game, because some of them straight up just don't work. And this isn't exclusive to MCC, this was true in the original. Halo Reach was super buggy back in the day. Some of the bugs were cool. There were some cool Forge bugs, like, there was a chance in Forge maps where you had used the entire budget that if you killed someone wearing a jetpack, the jetpack would continue to fire after they were dead. It was pretty cool looking. So their body would rocket around on the floor. There were a few other bugs like that. I remember because there was this Forge map I used to play on. They had some modded stuff in it, so you could use, like, the campaign falcon and stuff, and it was, like, pushing the limit on how many objects you could have spawned in a map, and stuff like that would happen all the time. It was pretty cool. It's like how in Halo 5, if you die with a plasma grenade in your hand, it will stay in your hand and explode. Or if you die with your, like, active camo on, the active camo is still active on your body, which I actually think is really cool. But, you know, it's a tiny detail. I've never gotten the Easter egg where you pilot the Seraph in this level. I always thought it was really cool that they included that. There was even a stat on Halo Waypoint for how many kills you got with it. Though it's unclear if that was made for the Easter egg to kind of tell people that it was a thing, or if it was because that was supposed to be put in multiplayer at some point. I mean, there's a massive fucking amount of people who would have loved to fucking do, like, the Saber versus Seraph, like, dogfights in multiplayer. But the problem is, there's no map in this game that's large enough for it. That space station map would be perfect, but if you go outside the boundaries on it, it's clear that that spaceship is just like a single-faced front and there's no actual model behind the rest of it. Which makes sense. It's bad game design to model things the player's never going to see. But if they had modeled it, we could have just expanded the kill boundaries and used it as a space dogfighting map, now that you can use all the different assets from the game. It would have been cool. There's still time to do it. They just have to fucking put a little bit more time into squaring out. Oh, you're a Marine. I don't know why people like the concussion rifle so much. It does so little damage on later difficulties. Hey, give me your fucking sniper rifle, you bastard. Actually, this plan is terrible, and he should have said no. It's also completely pointless, because it'll be, like, undone in 30 seconds. Like, there's literally no reason for doing this. Wait, this isn't the way. Hello. Oh no, I am get message. Fucking great. Something I do like is that you can actually wander around the entirety of this fucking area. Like, it's just open. I'm not entirely sure why, but it is, and that's pretty cool. You can see the spots where they just put a forge object in front of the fucking, thing. So it's like, yeah. But it's like, yeah, you can just wander around the multiplayer map. And there are all the Marines and stuff, and they're fucking flying out. It's pretty cool. There's no actual reason to come down here. There's nothing here, but I just thought it was interesting. Because normally Halo games don't do this. Like, they'll give you some freedom of movement, but it's very clear that there's a specific sort of line you're supposed to be walking in. That's actually something that kind of annoys me about the Halo games, is a lot of the time they are excessively linear. I wish they handled it a little bit more the way Half-Life does it, where Half-Life will give you a big sort of box with multiple paths going through it. And while it is still linear, there's a lot more variety in how you could approach that endpoint. You don't have to go A to B, you can go A and then an infinite number of places in between there and then B. Which is nice. I guess it reminds me kind of the way Left 4 Dead handles it, where like Left 4 Dead is linear, but it never feels like it is because the way you're funneled through the maps is so intuitive. And there's enough minor differences between the maps every time you play them that it feels like you're taking a different route, even though you're not. I like the levels in Left 4 Dead 1 a lot more than Left 4 Dead 2, but I think that's just because I'm not a huge fan of the way the American South looks a lot of the time. I used to live around there, and it's very hot and muggy, and I don't like sort of like southerny swampy areas. If I could live somewhere a bit further north where it's a little colder, I would appreciate it, because I don't like hot weather. I'd much rather freeze than burn any day. Unless it's a really cool fucking, like, everything's on fire. Look at this marathon planet. It's got that weird marathon fucking particles and smoke coming off of it. Oh my god, do you see that big square behind the planet where it looks like a big JPEG? Oh, that looks awful. Who approved that? Just that big square-shaped shadow. Look how terrible that looks! There's just a big fucking square! Because the planet's shadow isn't properly rendered. Oh, that looks awful. Good job, MCC. That's fucking hilarious. Why does this game have so many visual artifacts? That's weird. Look at those cradle stations. There's a really big one of those that gets blown up in the Fall of Reach. I'm not sure if they're repairing the ships or breaking them down. I guess they were working on repairing them, but they got all busted up. I don't understand why there would be destroyed frigates here if the fucking whole station isn't completely destroyed. I do appreciate the people working on the ships there, and you can see that they're being worked on. That's kind of cool. Man, I love space dogfighting missions. There aren't nearly enough of them in video games anymore. I feel like it's super disingenuous that this is the fucking demo mission. If you play, if you download Halo Reach on the 360, or you go to the marketplace, I don't know if it's still there, but there was a demo mission, and the demo mission was this fucking level. More specifically, it's the first part of this level, and then it cuts out as soon as you, like, are going to go attack the what's it's called? The cruiser or whatever the fuck. I feel like that's a really disingenuous look at Halo Reach, because it makes the game seem like it's going to be a completely different game, when this is the one of the shortest parts of the entire game and has largely nothing to do with the rest of it. Like, Halo Reach always gave me that sort of gimmicky, like, introduce a mechanic, throw it away thing that the later Call of Duty games had. More so than, like, even 4 and 5. Because 5 is relatively consistent, it's just a bad campaign. And 4 is actually, I think 4's campaign is pretty good. I have mixed feelings about the story, but in terms of the actual, like, layout and pacing of the campaign, I think it's good. I think the Prometheans piss me off a lot with their gameplay mechanics. I was actually fine with having them teleport around and stuff. The problem is just that they have too much fucking health. If their defense was a little bit closer to something like an elite or a brute, I would be way more on board with having them as enemies. It's more just that I don't like the visual design of the Prometheans, and I don't like how much health they have. Specifically the Promethean Knights. That whole teleporting around thing, I actually think that's a cool mechanic, but they needed to not combine that with an insta-kill melee attack that's undodgeable. It actually makes more sense for that to be an attack in Halo 5 because you have a quick dodge. Without the ability to quick dodge reliably, that attack is extremely unbalanced, and accounted for like 90% of my deaths fighting Prometheans. Because they would fucking teleport super close to me and then kill me instantly with a melee attack. Halo 4 on Legendary is such an enormous pain in the ass, and it was uncompletable in fucking Halo Master Chief Collection for a short period of time. Because, there was a part in, Level Infinity where you have to hold them off at the door, and I played it for 3 hours, and there was some sort of glitch or something, but the goddamn Promethean crawlers wouldn't stop spawning. I would kill them, and I'd keep killing them over and over and over again, and they would just continue to spawn. I played it for 3 hours straight, and they just never stopped spawning. I don't know how that happened, because that doesn't feel like a glitch that can occur, but it's like I couldn't finish my Legendary run of that game for like a couple months until it got patched. Because I was going to get the Helios Skrill armor. That annoyed the hell out of me. I have the Helios Skrill armor now. Because at least with Halo 2, Halo 2 is just hard. It's not like Halo 2 is cheating. I mean, it is cheating because it reads your inputs, but you know what I mean. The fact that characters on Legendary do read your inputs kind of pisses me off. It happens more in Halo Reach than the other games. Where, for example, if you're about to fire a Spartan laser at someone on Legendary, the enemy will always dodge out of the way, which means that the Spartan laser is essentially useless, except against vehicles, considering that you only ever get it in levels where you're fighting, like, infantry. That fucking last part with the MAC gun in, Legendary pisses me off. Because the fucking phantoms spawn behind you, so you're always going to be taking some amount of fire from them. And the time to kill is so low in that. I wish it didn't auto-synchronize. I actually prefer it when I'm in charge of the roll and stability myself, rather than having to wait on a fucking auto roll. You know, Chips is one of the fucking Saber pilots in this mission. It's his only fucking appearance in Halo Reach, but he's on comm as one of the Saber pilots. I don't know if he has his voice lines correspond to an actual model, but also, who the fuck is tailing me? I don't like how the fucking AI in Heroic and Legendary have hyper-awareness. They always know where the player is regardless of their fucking location on the map, which makes sneaking up on them almost impossible, unless it's a scripted thing where they're, You know what I want? I want a really good, like, Ace Combat quality Battlestar Galactica game. There's a Battlestar Galactica game on the Xbox Original, which is good, but you have to play the entire game in one life, because it has that old school style, if you die, the whole fucking game's over and you go back to the start of the game. Which is untenable. I've never finished it. I've gotten as far as like 3 or 4 levels in before dying. And considering that it has escort missions where you have to keep your wing alive, it's like, no, I'm not doing an entire game of don't die or fail a single objective or you have to start the entire game over. That's the kind of game you save for an apocalypse where you only have a handful of video games. And you do that thing like Will Smith in I Am Legend where you can do the entire game from memory.
I'm out here 6.
I used to be able to do that with Futurama, where I could do every single line in every single episode from memory, because I'd seen that show like 100,000 times. Because I used to just play it on loop while I worked on stuff in my room during high school. So I would have the entire show memorized down to a fucking line. I'm sure that's indicative of some kind of mental disorder, but eh. I don't think I have it down now, though. It's been a few years since I've watched Futurama. Probably because it's not on Netflix anymore. Man, is it just me? Netflix used to be kick-ass with the number of shows it had, and now Netflix kind of sucks. I mean, yeah, they've got all this nice original content. They've got a decent amount of anime, but the vast majority of things I watched on Netflix are not on Netflix anymore. Most of them aren't even streaming on anything, actually. Because I was watching Farscape and Eureka. I think Haven is still on Netflix. Fucking Battlestar Galactica. Basically all those old shows from like either the late 90s or early 2000s that I really enjoyed. That are like, I used to have box sets or I don't anymore, or the discs are scratched, or I just want to watch while I'm working on other stuff in the background, you know? And none of those shows are on. I think the only things I watch on Netflix right now are Kingdom, Beastars. There's probably something else. I think Iron-Blooded Orphans is on Netflix now, but I already have that show on my fucking personal, like, thing. So, I don't really... Oh my god! It looks so bad!
Target Corvette sighted within visual range of nav beacon RA-15.
Why is the camera on the side of the satellite?
Target confirmed.
Oops. Delicious Pringles. Fun fact, if you drive underneath those fucking drop pods while they're dropping to the surface, you will fucking die.
Solid copy. We are currently jamming the Corvette's comms. Hit it hard while they can't call for help.
You know what's a really fucking good space combat game? Battlefront 2, actually. Battlefront 2 space combat modes kick ass. It's a shame no one plays them.
See if we can slow her down.
Good thinking, Savannah. That'll make boarding a whole lot easier.
I was playing some of them the other day, and fucking you get the unknown territories so goddamn often in that fucking play mode. But, like, playing the fucking Ryloth level, is so much fun, especially if you're playing as the fucking clones, because the Arc 170 is really fun and satisfying to use. The V-Wing, it continues to be like my favorite spacecraft ever. Or I guess dogfighter spacecraft. Well, maybe. I really like the Viper from Battlestar Galactica, because that's a smart, well-designed spacecraft that is both aesthetically pleasing and makes sense in terms of its narrative. Who the fuck is shooting me? You know, it would really be awesome if my fucking wing could do anything. Fucking... I can see the friendly sabers. They're just floating around like we're on a joyride. Oh, great fucking checkpoint. 30% health while being tailed. Jesus Christ. Shoot the enemy, teammates! That's really, really irritating, by the way. You can tell the way the fucking AI is working is that it doesn't start attacking you until you're attacking another target. Because it needs to know that you're not facing whichever enemy you're fucking, is shooting at you. That's really, really frustrating. Because it means the person shooting you is always going to be behind you. Banshees. Like, look at that fucking saber just flying around doing nothing. They're so useless. Why are there more Banshees now? Oh my god, fuck off. You are all useless. You are all equally worthless. Stop it. Ignore the fact that a ship this size could probably only carry a maximum of fucking 8 missiles. Probably less than that, actually. I don't see any racks. Also, look how much the planet is fucked up already. Yeah, where the hell is the, fucking orbital defense network? I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. This whole system makes no fucking sense. Considering how close we are to that gas giant, too. It's all very strange. Bungie kind of screwed up the canon with this game to a major degree.
Find a way inside and permanently disable that cruiser's communications. As soon as we're sure the Corvette can't squat, we'll initiate uppercut phase 2.
Thank you, Geometry. Very irritating.
Noble 6,
Alright, come on.
countermeasures won't work forever. Find a way
And the horse you rode in on.
disable that cruiser's communications. As soon as we're sure the Corvette
God
can't
damn it.
squat, we'll initiate uppercut phase 2.
This is not going the way I wanted it to go.
Holland to Savannah. Enemy comm relay is now offline.
Copy that. Halting countermeasures, diverting all power and personnel to weapons.
All right, Noble. Let's get that slip space bomb on board. 6, head for the hangar.
This is very irritating.
Colonel, on our way to the hangar.
Noble 5, meet him there.
Affirmative. On approach.
Yeah, okay. Huh. That's interesting. Sorry, engineer, but you need to die. It's for the greater good. It doesn't even do that much damage. It's just annoying. Cool. I'm getting sloppy. Motherfucker. I really don't like the focus rifle. It's almost a good gun. Why would this be depressurized? That seems counterintuitive. I guess the idea is that if there's a hull breach during a space fight, it'll do the minimum amount of damage. Oh, fuck. Fucking hitboxing. Also, if this is a depressurized environment, why is there fucking any sound at all? I guess it's a low pressure environment. Maybe the aliens have fucking different gravitational requirements than we do, or they just have a different mixture of air. I know the grunts breathe methane. They also appear to metabolize methane as a food source, which I'm sure. But the jackals and elites all breathe oxygen, as far as I can tell. I'm not sure why their blood's a different color. I mean, jackal blood is red. Elite blood is like a purplish blue. Grunt blood is also blue. So I guess they just metabolize oxygen in different quantities. The grunts don't breathe oxygen at all, but it's not poisonous to them, so they can survive for a little bit. They're some kind of crustacean anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter too much.
5, stay with the bomb. Destroy Curious.
That's such a good line.
Hear that, Lieutenant? I'll be over on my
It's almost like this character should have stayed around for longer. I'm not sure what's in a re-entry unit. I assume it's a parachute.
Get that Corvette moving toward the supercarrier. Head for the bridge. Find the nav controls.
I'll use... Wait. No, I won't. I'll give one of you the sniper rifle. What? Come on. I hate how often they do that. Fuck you. I'm not even playing with fucking tough luck on. Yeah, fuck off, asshole. Why wouldn't you have done that already? Even a single fucking Covenant ship, or a human a single low tier Covenant ship like this would be more than enough to handle a human frigate. It would take like 4 or 5 human frigates to do anything. Human ships suck. Also, yeah, why does it start breaking apart before it explodes? That seems bizarre. Also, regardless of how long it takes you to get here, they'll all die anyway, which feels a little, you know, cheapening. Because I can usually get here within, like, less than 30 seconds of the Pelican landing on the ship. So I feel like I have a reasonable degree of... I feel reasonably secure in the fact that I would be able to prevent those gunners from firing further on the savannah. It's just one of those fucking set-piece cinematic moments in video games that everyone feels like games have to have, even though they really don't. That guy I give the sniper rifle to just die. Everyone's under the impression that video games need to be more like movies. I disagree. You can still have big, giant, fantastic set-piece things, but don't put them in at the expense of, you know, narrative or gameplay. God damn it. It's always very irritating. Yeah, I love this gun that obstructs like 1/3 of my fucking view. Sick. Where's Private Who? Or Specialist Who, sorry. I didn't realize you were a corporal, sir. Wait, no, not sir. You're fucking... I'm sir. I'm a lieutenant. You're the other thing. Well, actually, isn't Specialist like a horizontal rank? Because you could have Warrant Officer as well. In which case, no, Lieutenant's still higher than Warrant Officer. Warrant Officer is a shitty rank. If you're a Warrant Officer, you're basically a Warrant Officer forever. Yeah, take that. Weird. That seems extravagant and unnecessary. But yeah, Specialist. Either corporal, but with vocational training in some thing, or Warrant Officer something or another. I don't know. Whatever.
Well done, Noble Six. Uppercut initiated.
I was never very good at the military. I don't think they like me very much. One guy tried to throw a chair at me. That was fun. Oh, wait, hold on. Fucking hate this gun. Yeah, I want a gun that bounces people around and doesn't do any damage. So helpful. God damn it, who? Who charges an enemy position with a sniper rifle? Well, he reloaded the gun, so I guess it wasn't all a waste. And it was mostly a waste, but... everyone is incompetent. Where'd he go? He didn't kill him. Shut the fuck up, dude. Every single person you sent with me died. God damn it. Very irritating. There was still one grunt left. Where'd he go? Wunderbar. Shit. Sure. I feel like I'm always aiming a little bit to the left of where I'm supposed to be. Where is it? There we go. Oh, I can't see shit. Where is it? If only we had a better camera angle for this. Yeah, that isn't working. Wait, does this still work? I don't think this still works. Because you're supposed to be able to get in even if the front part is blown up, but I don't know. Yeah, I guess not. Okay, fine, whatever. Jesus Christ. I'm not doing too well today. Whatever. Let me in! No, whatever. No. God damn it. Fucking flinch mechanic. George's machine gun does so little damage, it's embarrassing. The assault rifle does more damage than that. I know the reason why his gun does so little damage is so that you can't just rely on him to kill all the enemies himself, because it did as much damage as the actual machine gun turret. Like, he'd be able to solo this entire fight, which would mean there's no difficulty, but you can only aim in one place at a time, and you still have to keep yourself alive. He'll also never leave the middle of the room, so if enemies are hiding out like this, you still have to go hunt them down. Etc. Oh, the guns restock themselves. Interesting. God, fucking ultras. So annoying. Oh, I hate ultras so much. Right. Fun fact, Halo Reach is harder on Heroic than it is on Legendary. Because the enemy fucking combination is different than on Legendary. Like, the versions of these guys that you get on Heroic is so much more annoying to deal with. Because on Legendary, they all have, like, the same weapon, basically. There's just more of them. On Heroic, however, they all have different weapons, and they're super fucking annoying. And they also never stop following you. They also come from different parts of the fucking room. On Legendary, they all come from that back left corner over here. On Heroic, there's 2 from over there. There's like 4 from over there. I think one of them comes from over there. They're super fucking annoying. Realistically, I should probably be using my fucking... I should probably be using a... What's the word I'm looking for? Plasma pistol. It's really the only reliable way to take them down. I don't like how much of the screen the weapons take up in this version of the game. I'm not sure if that's an FOV issue native to MCC, because I don't remember this being true in the original game. That being said, I always play with the default FOV anyway, so I'm not sure how much I could do about that. There's something about pulling back the FOV that makes it difficult for me to play.
Distance is closing on this vessel's refueling track with the Covenant supercarrier.
You know, 90% of the time, I finish this level with Marines still alive, so there's no reason for George to sacrifice himself.
Well, I've got good news and bad news. This bird took some fire and our thruster gimbal is toast, which means the only way off the slag heap is gravity.
Debatable. We're in a room that has banshees in the upper part of it.
That was the good news.
At current velocity,
We could take one of those, or a drop pod.
Bad news is, time is fried. I'm gonna have to fire it manually.
How about we let the disposable Spartan 3 fire it and instead save the
Better get going.
and better in every single way Spartan 2?
Listen, Reach has been good to me. Time has come to return the favor. Don't deny me this.
I don't know. George just kind of seems like an idiot when all is said and done. I like him, but he makes like every terrible decision. Look at that repeating texture on the bottom of the fucking ship. Cherenkov radiation. Fun fact, or not fun fact, question. The carrier would have its own subspace drive, correct? Why couldn't we just tell it to blow up instead of wasting a drive from one of our own ships? Is that just me? Also, yeah, look at those fucking ships that aren't using a giant, stupid portal, like in Halo 4 and 5 onward. It's almost like if you paid attention to the way slipspace worked, it didn't function the way... Or it didn't function like a giant, stupid portal like it does in the new fucking game.